Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia, and today I'm excited to share a brand new game with you on the channel, Pharaoh: A New Era. For those of you old enough to remember the old Pharaoh games from before 2000, this is sort of a remastered remake of the old game of Pharaoh and Cleopatra. But it's not technically a remaster because it's not done by the same developers or even the same publishers, but it is a game that is trying to be made faithful to the old game. And this is not the official launch of the game, it's still coming soon, but the developer did make available the first 4 stages of the game as a demo until the end of the month, and we're playing those first 4 stages throughout this weekend, and this is our first episode. And for those of you who are too young to have played Pharaoh, it's a great city building game, obviously set in ancient Egypt. It spans across millenniums, I think over 1,200 years of Egyptian history, and you build these cities that sometimes carry over from one scenario to the next, but often just isolated objective-based scenarios that takes place in different part of the Nile River Valley, and we get to try out the first 4 maps. I think the launch version of the game will have over 50 stages. They're taking the exact same stage design as before, so for players who have played the old one like myself, things will be quite familiar. So the first couple stages will definitely be sort of a tutorial run through, so the game will guide us for the most part, but it should still be very fun. So let's hop onto it, and we can create a different one because I did try out the controls here. Let me just delete this one as though it never happened, and we're gonna call it Trivia again because that's what the channel name is. So let's go, and we'll play the campaign. So as you can see, they tell you what period you're in. We're in the pre-dynastic period, and we're playing the city of Nubt all the way down here, and there's going to be a goal with each scenario, and we'll hop around the map as we move from scenario to scenario. Sometimes you play the same city as you did from the previous scenario and continue to expand on it, but oftentimes you're starting anew. And our objective early on is quite simple: create 6 meager shanties. Meager shanties is a tier of the housing that you build, so it's quite low. You're just learning the basic here.
Welcome to ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs. Here you'll participate in the history of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen. In an epic story that spans more than 15 centuries and 24 generations. You must lead one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and beyond. Our story begins more than 5,000 years ago, along the banks of the Nile River in an area known as Nubt. Here, a small confederacy of clans struggles to eke out an existence in the harsh environment. With you at its head, your family leads this small settlement.
Alright, they did voice everything, so it's great. Missions lost if we are ever in debt, that's not a concern. And they teach us everything. We'll read through these, because why not? This is sort of here for new players as well. There's definitely people who are too young on the channel who have not played this game. The first thing here, this village will need are housing to provide settlers with a suitable place to live, a network of roads to allow its eventual inhabitants to find their way around easily and efficiently. Build areas of housing, and you will soon see people move into the village. And you can see there's this main road here, and this main road structure will guide settlers into your city area. You see all sorts of things like grassy plains. These are deltas for farming, but we are mainly going to hunt these ostriches early on. And these are your build panels. Housing's right here, costs us 10 to build, and we're supposed to just lay it out on this pre-designed area since this is the really tutorial level. Not only do we have housing, every single house needs a road to touch it, so we're going to have to go build ourselves some roads. Actually, tell us to right click to quit it. Actually, no, it's telling me to build roads. It's going to tell me exactly where to put the roads. You can see the settler flooding in, And we have created a path around all the housing. Now, what about the interior one? Well, housings are usually 2 by 2 actually. So these 4 will form one big hut, and we don't have to worry about this one not having a road access. The path by which immigrants reach your city is known as the Kingdom Road. Migrants always use free passage from Kingdom Road to the city's housing areas. If you isolate some neighborhood from this vital link to the outside world, its homes will simply disappear. Right, so we're connected to the Kingdom Road, and these settlers are going to flood on in and create little houses. You can see they're 1 by 1 right now, but once you have a cluster of 2 by 2, they will combine together, which we would hopefully see. No, not like that. Not like that. That's how you end up with ugly houses. The problem now is we're going to have to delete everything in the middle too. It's okay. We build them and they'll come back. See, this side, perfect. This side, not so much. Yeah, once they connect, I'll build the next group. We're wasting money, but 5,000 is a lot actually. I doubt we'll go into debt. And for these houses, if you click on them, they're crude huts, and it tells you what it needs to upgrade. So in this case, we don't have water, and there's also things like crime, fire, and health. Combine. I'm just going to do this right now, and then we'll pop that whenever they finish. I think we can speed it up for now. 1.5, 5 times. Wow, that's really, really fast. To evolve their houses, you have to need basic access to water. Some well-placed well will provide them with everything they need. Wells need to be placed on grassy areas, and this is also grassy, and provide water for 2 tiles around themselves. So, can we slow it down? There we go. Let me make it right, and then we come here to services, hygiene, well, they tell us where to put it because 2 tiles. And once they get water, you can see they upgrade. Now it needs food from the local bazaar, and we need to wait for them to all upgrade and probably pick up the next message. Basically, we need to hunt for food and sell them food. Wells do not need road because they don't need to be serviced. People can go and get the water themselves. Look at these sellers. Because it upgraded, we have more room for occupants. Now we're talking about hunting. A growing population needs a reliable source of food and some means of storing and distributing it. Certain animals like ostriches in this region can be hunted for game. Granary stores game meat and other food, while bazaar distribute the food to the village inhabitants. Alright, so it's not too hard to understand. First, we need to build some hunting huts. They tell us exactly where. The green arrow means where the worker comes out. The red arrow means where the worker goes back in. As with most working structures, in order to function properly, these buildings must be located within reach of housing, and the city must have enough workers to staff them. Watch as the buildings spawn a walker to look for workers and how they become animated once their walkers pass by occupied houses. You can click on the place hunting lodge to get more info. So let's see if we can see these walkers. Well, he got hired already. 6 employees. I guess they just like stepped out and this had 24 guys that's jobless. So they're immediately hired. And once they're ready, they will be walking out to shoot these ostriches. But at the same time, we also need to have a distribution center. So while your hunter now deliver game meat to the granary, you will still have no way of distributing it to your inhabitants. This just stores. That's the job of a bazaar. The bazaar will send one of its workers to the granary to bring back the food, and then send it distributors roaming the road to deliver it to your citizens. So we gotta get a bazaar. When trying to place a building near a road, you will see the indicator with arrows. The green arrow shows where the building will spawn walkers and where it will take delivery of goods. The red arrow shows the point of return for distributors coming out of this building. Sometimes both points are on the same tile. The points might change when you build new roads next to existing buildings. You can check them anytime by simply hovering your cursor over the structure you want to verify. Right now the game's going to tell us everything, so it's fine. Distributors, whether they distribute goods or services to houses, roam the road of your city for a time and then come back to their building. During their walk, when they reach a crossroad, they can take either direction. To avoid distributors getting lost where you don't want them to go, don't build a road network with too many intersections. I think there are also roadblocks eventually. I don't think we have them now, but we can just plug it up, right? Want them to stay in the loop. No point for them to move on in the Kingdom Road. But you can see they also have workers and they sell food. One of the tools at your disposal, roadblocks. To control the worker is the roadblock. Roadblocks prevent distributors from going through, but let other walkers with destination pass. Use roadblock wisely, and you'll be able to manage gigantic cities. Here's a couple roadblocks on both sides of Kingdom Road. Will prevent walkers from going far away from your burgeoning city. All right, sounds good. We block one here, we block one here. To make sure Nubt sustains the test of time, we'll need to make sure that the structures in the village do not catch fire or collapse on themselves. Not all buildings are prone to risk. The best way to tell if one needed to be visited by either an architect from the architect post or a fire marshal from a firehouse is to click on it, open its panel info. Houses, for example, will catch fire if not attended to, but will never collapse on themselves. So the idea here is you can basically have these safety services, a firehouse, for example, and they will have a marshal that comes out. We can rotate this actually, and walk around. And everyone he walks by is checked for safety. And if he doesn't check you that often, you run into a fire risk. You can also check this on the info panel, but I don't think we're allowed to use that right now. And that goes the same for the architect posts, which does something very similar. It's hard to get it to look right, but it's fine. We'll just put it there. Now that they have food, villagers need access to clean water from a water supply, which is much preferred over well water. Water supply, like wells, must be built on land with underlying groundwater, as indicated by presence of green grass growing. Water supplies also need access to employees in nearby housing. Once up and running, a water supply will dispatch a water carrier to deliver buckets of clean water to all houses in its immediate vicinity. In addition, these houses won't need wells anymore. So we're looking to upgrade to a more expensive water supply, and we can just put it, the game's actually not dictating it, but this is a fine location. And basically it will have employees very soon, and they will run around and distribute water to everyone. We can get rid of the wells if we want, or we can just keep them. It's a very relaxing city building game. So see the meat getting delivered to the granary, the distributor come picking up the meat from the granary, back to the market, and the market has 400 food. The cart is going out, and it's being sold. The ones that bought it picked up the rank to become a meager shanty. We need 6 of these, so once 6 huts get food, I think that distributor's already out of food right here. So they need to send more people, get us more food. Hunters, there we go, that's food, so distributor needs to come out. There we go, that's the person. Pick it up, bring it back, and go sell it to more houses. Just sell it to one more house. We get 6 of these, and this mission is complete. Nope, they're just not leaving. Still a distributor going back. Wait, they're out. I thought they got some. Well, these houses are hogging them. Right, they had 400, and they just instantly sold. Oh, but someone got it. So we got our 6 houses, and we got our victory. This is super tutorial, so we'll play one more here for this episode. Thinis, let's go. 10 ordinary cottages. So many more tiers higher than the meager shanty. We need things like religion, entertainment, doctors, all sorts of things.
After many years and the passing of a generation, your family has resettled in the area of Thinis, in Upper Egypt. Here, a small band of local rulers is attempting to extend its influence over Lower Egypt and all lands along the River Nile, and to unite this realm under its own house with one supreme leader. Establishing Thinis as a thriving city like nothing ever seen before will prove the worthiness of the Thinite Confederacy and help them gain supremacy over Lower Egypt and the other factions vying for power. In time, this will mean providing the population with entertainment and building wonderful temples to worship the region's patron deity. To build a city this grand will require a substantial supply of cash. You'll find rich deposits of gold ore in Thinis, and harvesting them should be your first priority.
Alrighty, same defeat condition. A new beginning. Start to lay down your housing and provide your people with fresh water and food the same way you did in Nubt. Try to be relatively close to these ore-bearing rocks in the northwest of the map. You're going to need to mine them. You can clear trees with the destroy button, but not only will that cost you precious bins, these also won't grow back. In future missions, you will have to plan carefully. Alright, no rush. We'll take a look at the map. So what they mean by the ore is that there are gold deposits, and part of this mission is we have to mine them and get some gold as part of the city setup. Now, looking at where the grass is, that's where we can put our clean water supply. It's going to determine where we want to build our city. We need 10 cottages, right? I believe that's our victory condition. So I think we can either build in this area, which I think is a little small, but I think this might be the easier area to build. So we'll first use our road. We'll take it slow. I think there's no rush. I'm trying to see if there's a clean path. Yeah, we need to have a path to the gold eventually. That's all we really need to do. And there seems to be a clean path. We'll try to not kill any trees. There is a way we can build it like this. And that means in this area, so I know I need a road here. In this area, I'm going to build most of my cities, and then we're going to have a place for well and everything, no problem. So we need 10 houses that are going to be premium housing. So they're going to have a little bit of everything. Now it helps that I know how big certain buildings will be. So it will help with our planning. So even though our city might look a little bit weird in the beginning, things will improve over time. So the goal here is I want to have this section here first. And in terms of housing, we're going to do... This is just so the housing can get into 2x2 without the settlers going crazy over certain things. I want 5 houses over this side. I'm going to save 3 tiles here for the inspection buildings. There's going to be a couple of them this time. We're going to have a police station on top of the fire and architect post. And there's also going to be eventually a religious building, which is, I think, 3x3. So saving 3 here and then 3x3 here will be perfect. And that means the rest of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's houses. And then we come down. And then we just mirror this on this side. And then we let people settle in them. I'm going to fill this up. So we'll end up with 10 houses in this area, surrounded by a temple, surrounded by our necessity buildings. And then we're going to put a roadblock right here. And then we're going to connect this entire thing down the middle to the Kingdom Road, which is the requirement here. And then we'll also put a roadblock right here. Then what else is missing here? We'll start filling out the basic. We know we need clean water supply, and it has to be touching the grass, so that's done. We can also... I kind of want to move that back now because it's so close to... but it's fine. We can do entertainment over here a bit later. Yeah, there's also entertainment buildings, but that's way down the line. Safety stuff. I don't think we can build police station. Basically, we have to be prompted, but everything that we are taught already, we can build. So we're going to build a nice little fire marshal and an architect post. And then we're also going to need to hunt again. Ostriches are unlucky creatures here, so we're going to kill them. Going to drop at least 2. And then we're going to need a distributor on top of that. And it turns out it's 4 width, so it's pretty good size to place right there. The food is going to go right here in this corner. And we're good to go. Let people settle first. Everyone's looking for workers. Like, is there anyone living here? No? Okay, we'll wait. So none of our structure is working. We do run the risk of them catching on fire when we have no one. But I like to plan out the city spacing early like this. And this way we keep everything in a loop. I mean, eventually we'll have a separate living quarter over here just to mine the gold, and those houses we won't care about, as in they can be poor shanties, you know, for all I care. This is our rich neighborhood. There we go. That's the 10 house we want to focus on. That spot is going to be for a doctor office later on. And this is going to be a temple. That's going to be a police station. And the entertainment will probably go across the bottom here. I always found these games more enjoyable when you plan things out and the city looks nice. But it does require quite a bit of game knowledge, so... yeah, essentially it's alright if you're lost in the beginning. Food will come once the hunting goes. Alright, each structure you place costs the bins, not counting what you will spend to pay the worker's salary. One way to make back the money is to mine gold. Place at least 2 gold mines near veins of war so you can start production of this precious metal. Make sure they have access to workforce and don't forget to protect them from risk. Alright, so houses have basic risk of crime, fire, and health. So, and water. Of course, water. Food is not really a necessity, unless you want to upgrade, right? Or else you're stuck with sturdy hut. I'm okay with our workers stuck with sturdy huts. So first we're going to create this path that we sort of calculated where we don't have to destroy any trees. There we go. And we reached the gold mine. Now the production building for these just need to be touching the gold mine. It can be this way, it can be this way. I think 2 is fine. And I might have overdid it on the road a little bit here. So we'll get rid of 2 pieces here. And then we'll build a housing zone here. We probably might not even give them, like, we only need 12 people each, so 24. Technically 2 of these sturdy huts is enough. And all we have to do is... oh, actually... this way we can just give them a well. It covers 2 tiles, so that's perfect. And then there is always the fire threat. And there's always the architect threat. Which way do we want to build it? We could just build it at the end here. Because we don't really want anything to go that way. They won't be getting food. They won't be getting much of anything. So our architect and our fire marshal can just patrol this area. And that will be that. So 40 people here working 11 plus 24 jobs, 35 jobs. So that'd be perfect. Meanwhile, our main group here will live in luxury. And once we do get the gold going, we're going to have to build government or the palace building, basically. That's where we collect our tax. Must be built on grassy area, so we're going to build it right here. Maybe in the center here, but it'll block some of the view, which is not the intention, but we'll see. We're not allowed to build it. I think it's 4x4 though, so maybe just off to the side. Alright, gold is a special resource that is placed in the palace, a unique building that also vaults the city's treasury. You can only build 1 palace and it must be constructed on grassy area. Each gold carrier reach your palace will add 100 bins to the city fund. With this regular income, you should not have to worry about debt. Alright, so let's build it. It's 4x4. Yeah, so in that case, I think we just put it right here. and that way we don't block the middle. And because it's certain buildings are beautiful in a sense, like temples and such, and certain buildings are like bad for just the surrounding housing. Like for example, the granary is bad. So if you have a building that's giving you beauty, it's going to transform the road to this more premium version, and your resident will like you more for it. In this case, we need religion to upgrade from meager shanties, so we're going to wait until the game prompts us for that. Right now, the gold delivery is coming in. The roadblocks do not block distributors, they only blocks the walkers. With a supply of cash in reserve, however, comes the risk of theft. Constables can help reduce loss through theft, both by patrolling the street to prevent crime and by subduing any criminals they encounter. The best way to prevent crime, though, is to keep your population happy with adequate food, healthcare, and jobs. So here's the tough part. Because I'm ignoring those people's lives, they're more likely to have crime, but I only really want to protect these guys. Like, yeah, we could build, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like suppressing them. They have no food, right? And they're angry at us, and instead of building them a food, we basically go like, hey, here's a police station, and you'd be fine. 6 more employees, that will put us close to the max, actually, I think. 5, 6, 6, 12, 17, 17 plus 24, 41. We might be like 1 employee short, but that would be fine. We could build more of these, but then the well situation would be more difficult. You can check your houses by clicking on them to see if there's a risk of crime, but sometimes you need to be able to see in one glance if there's any problem in the entire city. And now we get introduced to the overlays, and this can be a little bit overbearing. So criminal overlay, who's safe? Everyone's good right now. That's good to know. How do I turn it off though? Oh, no overlay. Okay. How do I cancel this? Oh, there we go. Right click. Yeah, the controls, need to get used to them. Crime isn't the only challenge you face. Health can cause problems and decimate your citizens. Physicians patrol a neighborhood will protect its inhabitants from disease. Providing your population with food and fresh water will also reduce the risk of disease. Other structures will help your citizens' health grow going forward. The apothecary will protect houses against malaria in cities with marshes nearby, for example. So once again, we run into the same police situation. It's like, well, you know, it's nice to have a physician for this group because I want them to level up, but they desperately need it, and we're not really going to provide them with the help because they don't have the population to even support that building. So, tough luck. If they complain, we have police officers nearby. We still need religious buildings if we want to see these upgraded, so right now nothing's happening with our objective. We're just waiting for the game to prompt us. There we go, religion. An Egyptian city cannot flourish without suitable place of worship in the form of religious temple and shrines dedicated to one of 5 gods. Osiris, god of the Nile, Ra, god of the kingdom. Oh god, I'm gonna say this wrong, but I think it's Ptah? I don't know. God of craftsmen. Theth, god of destruction. Bast, goddess of the home. The patron god of Thinis is Bast. To appease the god, build enough temples and shrines dedicated to each of them to serve your current population. A working temple sends priests throughout nearby neighborhoods, granting resident access to worship of his god. In addition to their religious effect, shrine and temple also provide a good amount of desirability for houses nearby, beauty. Shrines can be built 1 tile away from roads and still have access. So shrine doesn't have to technically connect to roads, but the temple must. So we're going to first build this big temple, which is a 3x3, which is why we save this spot right here. And then if we want to build shrines, they can be built away from the roads if we want, but like technically we don't have to build them anywhere. For the sake of our neighborhood, let me think. Where would, I mean, technically the 2 buildings on the side would need them the most, but like, can't make it symmetrical. Feel bad about it. And I can't build it. I could build it here and make it sort of symmetrical. one here. Well, there's also festivals. Both patron gods and local deities can become hostile if not shown respect due to their positions. Festivals are another way to appease the god. Build a festival square in the city in order to hold a festival for boss. So it's a very big structure. I kind of hate festival squares. Oh, we gotta wait for the guy to move. Move. There we go. But we have to build them. So we're gonna build one. I'm gonna just build a special area for them. They need to be at a crossroad. So that's one of the requirements. And I'm just gonna cross up this road right here. Get rid of that. Festival it up. Consult the overseer of the temple to determine the status of each of the god in any particular city, whether the gods are sufficiently appeased. Lightning bolts indicate the god is feeling hostile towards your city. Where Ankins, it's like, I can't describe the symbol, but I know what it is when I look at it. Indicate the god is feeling benevolent towards your city. The more you see of either, the more likely your city is to feel the god's presence, for better or worse. There are different overseers available on the left bar to help you govern your city. Check them from time to time, and they should be able to answer most of your questions. All right, first we gotta host a festival here. So hold a new festival. I don't think we have that resource, so we're just gonna do as best as we can. We have money, so we're gonna do that. And it's gonna just automatically do it. There's no performers, so we don't have any performers right now. But eventually we'll get entertainment. We can return this. We need to wait for the temple to start walking around, actually. Yeah, this is just gonna waste a lot of our time for a lot of our walkers. But once we have religion, you see that we have a rough cottage. It needs to be upgraded one more time because it needs entertainment to get to ordinary cottage. Eventually we'll get there. That's a priestess. If she walks by, they transform. Entertainment. As your city becomes more advanced, some citizens can enjoy leisure time activities such as taking a little entertainment. A wide assortment of entertainment is one of the hallmark of a truly cultured city, but currently you can only provide entertainment in the form of jugglers. These jugglers need a venue on which to perform, the smallest of which is called a booth. Build a booth at the corner of roads to stage juggling performances, and a juggling school nearby to train performers. Both need access to employee housing and enough worker to staff them. Jugglers trained at school will proceed to any nearby booth to put on a show, imparting a modest amount of entertainment to the surrounding area. So they look like this. They will take up basically the corner plus one square on the inside or outside, and we're going to see where we can fit them. So I think if I rotate this no, that doesn't work. If I move the roadblock, I think I can put one there. I can also put a couple if I just build a little intersection out, which I think is what I'm actually going to end up doing. So we'll entertain. I wonder if this will work actually. Competing juggling performances. And we'll put the school, it's not going to be symmetrical, unfortunately. We can technically build it here because that's actually a road. Sure. Minimize some of our spacing need. I mean, it's not symmetrical down here because of that building, but there's also two on here for counterweight, so it's fine. So they're learning now. Once they learn, they can go perform, and they'll increase the entertainment value of nearby housing. I think these are considered near enough. If not, we can add another entertainment over here. But we want to minimize, intersections, so you can see some of our distributors take this extra step, just like they do over here, but can't do anything about it because I need festivals. But eventually our house... Oh, that one's ready. Hold on. Ordinary cottage. See the little reed on top. They're closest to the juggling performance. There we go. They're not getting enough of the religion because they're not walking. There we go. We're almost going to win right here. One more upgrade. Come on, feel the jugglers. Can't you hear them? They're so close. If they can get it, you can get it. Oh, there's a juggler walking around. Juggler walking around. Give it entertainment. Have fun. Are you having fun yet? Oh, they're so close to the granary. That's what's going on. He's like, this building ugly. I can't deal with it. Okay, fine. Making us make a big change here. Boom. And boom. There we go. Mission complete. Victory. All right. So that's going to be it for our showcase in this episode here. There's 2 more levels in this demo build, I believe, and we'll come back and play those in the next 2 days at the same upload time of 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you all then. Bye!